Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Trading Up. My name's Rickayla, and I'm your host. Today we have an exciting trade to talk about. This includes fire, heat, sparks, and so much more. You probably already guessed it. Yeah, I'm talking about welding. This skilled trade dates back thousands of years, and it was used by artists, astronauts, and architects, just to name a few. There are so many parts of our lives that depend on welders, and today we will learn things like what projects do welders work on? How does the welding process work? What does it take to become a welder? And how welding may be a perfect career for you. So buckle up. This is gonna be a hot one. This is Trading Up. Welcome back, everyone. So before we dive deep into this trade, we need to learn the basics. So for starters, what is welding? Well, welding is a fabrication process where two or more parts, usually metal, are fused together by means of heat, pressure, or both, forming a joint as the part cools down. On top of that, there are three different types of welding: MIG, TIG, and stick. Stick welding, which is short for shielded metal arc welding, is extremely versatile and cost-effective. This method uses a special stick that melts and creates a protective covering called slag. It's like using a magic wand that melts metal together and protects it from getting ruined. MIG welding, aka metal inert gas welding, uses a special gun that shoots out a wire that melts and joins metal together. It's like using a laser to make metals stick together while keeping them safe from bad air. Last but definitely not least is TIG welding, which stands for tungsten inert gas welding. TIG welding uses a special machine that creates a spark between a sharp metal pencil and the metals you want to join. It's like drawing with a special pencil that can melt metal and make it stick together perfectly. All right. That was a lot to digest. But now that you know the three types of welding, if you start to pay attention, you'll see that welding is all around us. For instance, the chair you're sitting in, the car you drive in, or even the bridge your car goes over. Welders play a role in creating almost everything under the sun. And speaking of, did you know that the welding process creates temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun, reaching up to 9,932 degrees Fahrenheit? Now that's hot. And if you need to cool off just thinking about that, one of the specialized roles in this trade is underwater welding, which combines welding plus scuba diving all at once. These individuals are some of the highest paid tradespeople, making a huge impact under the waves. So we've learned a lot about welding so far, but we gotta take a break. So when you come back, we'll talk to some welding people and see what they do every day. So hang tight, don't go anywhere. You're watching Trading Up on BCAN.
Welcome to Trading Up Trivia. I'm James Darnell from Toledo Refining Company, and here's your trivia question. It's estimated the world consumes about how much petroleum each day? A, 95 million barrels, B, 19 million barrels, or C, 9 million barrels. Sit tight and we'll have your answer right after the break.
Trading Up Trivia is brought to you by the Toledo Refining Company, fueling progress since 1895.
Welcome back to Trading Up Trivia. Before the break, our question was, it's estimated the world consumes how much petroleum each day? If you answered 95 million barrels, you are correct. Congratulations, nice job.
Trading Up is brought to you by Piercings by Caitlin, voted best in Toledo 4 years in a row. Check our website for monthly deals at piercingsbycaitlin.com.
Welcome back to Trading Up. We've already learned so much about welding, like the different types of welding, what welders do every day, but there's still so much to know. And the best way to learn is by talking to some actual welders. Let's go see what they have to say.
How did you get into the skilled trades?
I chose welding because I was actually always an artistic person growing up and very meticulous. And welding takes a lot of precision and a lot of patience. And some days I think I have patience and some days I don't. But when it comes to welding, there's just something about putting your hood down and just kind of forgetting about everything around you. And all you see is that arc. And you can just you and the weld and you and the heat. And you can just manipulate that metal into whatever you want.
I actually took welding in high school as a vocational trade. So I kind of had an interest in it already, and I could not see myself doing anything else. It's not that difficult. Anybody can do it with a little training. Nobody should be discouraged. Nobody should be intimidated by it. Anybody can learn how to weld.
I'm a car person, and somehow I ended up working on cars. I had to do some welding, and one of my buddies taught me how to do like the basic of it, but I caught on really fast, and my teachers were like, "Hey man, you got good hand-eye coordination. You need to, when you go back home, join a welding program somewhere and see where that takes you. There's good money in it." I added another tool to my bag when it came to working on cars and end up, making a career out of it.
What do you do on your job every day?
As a welder, I am the reason you have water, you have gas, and you have anything that comes out of a pipe. So I'm the person that puts everything together and makes it possible for you to live your normal life without any problems.
Simply, we're just trying to connect pipe together so that we can have whatever system it's for, whether it's a water line, a gas line, whatever you want to call it, just put it together so that whatever system's being ran is sealed up and there's no leaks. It's a combination of using electricity, molten metal, and a shielding gas to basically create a weld that's stronger than the actual pipe itself or the base metal itself.
What type of training did you have to go through?
In the field and in the school, they teach you how to utilize your skills that you learned at the school on the job. Sometimes you're gonna be on the job and you might learn something you're not gonna learn at the school, but majority of the time, this school is gonna prepare you to get you the best training that you can to make it in the field.
All the jobs I had before wasn't much training. You got thrown to the wolves and you go from there and you sink or swim. But in this skilled trade, especially as a welder, we have our theory classes and we also have our hands-on classes where we get out here and do what we put on paper. We put it in a physical form out here in the shop that we're sitting in now. And you go out to the field and kind of see what you've done in school is right there. You'll still be nervous, but not as much because you have your brothers and sisters who are your journeymen and fellow apprentices that are going to help you out.
So when I got into the trades, I didn't know anything. The cool thing about this is they teach you literally everything you need to know, and I love that. We take classes all 5 years, and it's at nighttime. And most of us work the day shift, so it's really cool when you are doing something at work and you're being taught hands-on, and then you go into class later that night, and they're actually teaching you exactly what you were doing hands-on that day. And I can't even believe the amount of stuff that I've learned over the 5 years that have not only carried me into this trade, but also carried me into life itself.
What kind of tools do you need to do your job?
As a welder, some of the tools I use, you gotta have your weld hood. That's the most important thing. You can't weld without that weld hood.
It's so bright that you can't see without that, and you have a lens that obviously dims down once that light turns on, and all it is you and that light, which is basically our arc. And then you have your gloves, which are important for safety. You always want to wear a long sleeve when you're welding because you will get sunburnt, believe it or not.
We use files, or you have grinders that you put a wire wheel on to clean your welds. We use a tool called a beveler, and that will bevel the pipe without you doing any other physical labor but cranking on a lever.
Boots, good boots, because you're gonna burn shoestrings up. My shoestrings they got some material on them so they don't burn up.
What is the coolest thing about your job?
Fusing two pieces of metal together. That alone is the coolest thing about my job. I can't believe somebody figured that out a century ago, how to make two pieces of metal go together with one stick of metal. That is just amazing.
Actually loving what I do and also getting paid to do it. I mentioned before that it's kind of like a work of art, and I love art. to sit there and to love being artistic and manipulating the metal into something that I am proud of, and then to also get paid to do it and to be trained to do it without that college debt, it's awesome, and I love it.
I've always been that person that liked to turn nothing into something. I like that I'm able to be a part of building something that's very important. I've been at the refineries a lot through my apprenticeship and as a journeyman, where a lot of stuff comes out of those refineries that are very important for human society that we use. And I'm proud to say that I've been a part of, I built that.
Okay, how cool is welding? I did not know welders did all of that. So now we're gonna take a quick break. But when we come back, I'm gonna join Jermaine in the shop and he's gonna teach me how to weld. You're watching Trading Up on Beacon.
Hi there, I'm Kyle Dockery with Sheet Metal Workers Local 33, and this is your safety tip of the day. Head up, eyes open, and ears attentive. Every construction worker always needs to be aware of their surroundings. Be on the lookout for all dangers that could harm you so that they are to be avoided. Job sites always have multiple crafts working around you, and some may be above or below. Heavy equipment machines might be moving around the job site. Do not depend on others to see you. Pay attention, look, listen, and speak up if necessary. Help them to help you stay safe. Thanks for joining me, and remember, always stay safe.
This Trading Up safety tip is brought to you by Smart Local 33. Trading Up is brought to you by Piercings by Caitlin, voted best in Toledo 4 years in a row. Check our website for monthly deals at piercingsbycaitlin.com.
Hey everyone, welcome back. So we've learned so much about welding and what you need to know to become a welder. But we can't have a show about welding without getting our hands on some of that heat and metal. So let's see what Jermaine has in store for us today. Let's go. Hi, you must be Jermaine.
Yes, how you doing?
I'm Rickayla.
Nice to meet you.
All right, so how long have you been welding?
About 15 years.
Wow, that seems like a very long time, and you do not look that old, by the way.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
No problem. So, from a scale of 1 to 10, how would you say, how hard is welding?
I don't think it's that difficult, but it does take some training and some skills to develop over time.
If you have to put a number on it, what number would you give it?
What scale?
From a 1 to 10?
I'd say about probably a 7.5.
Okay, so a little difficult, but not as much.
Yes.
You just gotta know what you're doing.
Yeah, once you get it, you got it.
Okay, so are you here in Toledo?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so where do you work?
I currently work out of Local 50, working for IPS. That's the contractor I work for right now. I've been there right about my entire apprenticeship, and I'm a journeyman now, so been staying busy working in their fab shop.
Okay.
Doing a lot of welding.
Okay, so tell me what's on the agenda today.
Today I'm gonna teach you how to do some welding.
Welding? I don't know nothing about welding.
It's not that hard. I'm gonna teach you how to do the simple process. It requires being very safe because it's dangerous because we're shooting a lot of sparks. We're basically playing with hot glue, hot metal, bringing two pieces of metal together.
That sounds pretty difficult, and we're probably gonna need some safety gear, correct?
Definitely.
All right, so let's go get our safety gear on.
All right, let's go.
All right, so now that we're all safety geared up, what are we gonna do today?
Today we're going to be doing some stick welding, which that's a short way of saying it. It's really called SMAW, which is shielded metal arc welding. That's basically one of our easiest ways of welding, where everyone pretty much starts out at in our trade. Also, not as many tools as needed.
Okay.
This is a big machine we have right here. But at every job site, you can't have this to do certain welds. You can't go 1,000 feet in the air with this.
Okay.
So
it looks
stick
pretty
welding,
heavy too.
yes. Stick welding uses a couple of items. Your stinger, which is your positive. You also have your electrode, which is the stick, and your ground. Those three things, with your machine turned on, will create electricity or a a arc, which will end up being welding.
All right, so you said that this is the easiest way to weld. How many different types of welding are there?
There are a lot of them, but the three main ones that we use is stick welding, TIG welding, and MIG welding. Stick welding is SMAW, shielded metal arc welding. TIG welding is GTAW, that's gas tungsten arc welding. MIG welding is GMAW, gas metal arc welding. Those are the three main processes we use. There's other ones that require a little more training. Some are even robotic. But there's a lot of other ones out there that are fun.
Okay.
All of them are fun, but there's other ones that are very, very, very difficult to do. But in my eyes, they're all fun.
And what would you say is your favorite way of welding?
I like TIG welding.
TIG welding?
Yeah, because TIG welding requires you to use both your hands. You have the actual electrode in your left hand or right hand, depending on what you're dominant, and you're able to control it more because you're actually like using a small torch to go over your electrode, and you have more control over it. It's easier to see, but it's a slower process.
Okay.
This is more, stick welding is more of a faster process, and you can do it high in the air, low on the ground, and it's, in my eyes, I believe it's cheaper.
So a little easier on the pockets.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
But it also requires some skill to do it though, properly.
So what made you get into welding?
Well, I worked on cars and did some body work and had to learn how to weld panels together, and that's where I did my first welding. Wasn't that good. Took some time. Well, over some time, I got good at it, and my instructors told me that I'm pretty good at it.
Well, you have been doing it for 15 years.
Yes.
How many years would you say it took you to actually get good at it?
Took me a couple years.
Couple years?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you ready to get started?
Yeah, let's do this. All right, what I just did was laid out a stringer. One little weld, I ran the rod all the way down until I couldn't go no further. This right here on top of this weld is the slag. I have to knock that off to see what the weld actually looks like. So I'm gonna grab me a file. Knock some of that off. This protects the weld from oxidation, so the weld looks somewhat smooth. And as the rod gets, as it burns out, it's going to you're going to have to go in closer as you're dragging it. So are you ready to give this a try?
Let's go for it.
All right.
Nervous.
Come on closer. Arm up a little higher. Can you see?
No. Wow, that was a lot tougher than what I thought.
Yeah, that's why it's a skilled trade. It takes time and a lot of practice to get good at it. But you see on your actual weld, you were all over the place. But with repetition, you will get better at it.
Okay, so if you have to rate my weld, I know I'm not a pro, 15 years in.
Okay.
What would you rate this?
For your first time?
Yes.
You get a 2.
A 2?
I'm gonna be honest. You get a
That's
2.
pretty low.
Yeah. You did good.
That's pretty low.
You did great with the effort, but you know, it takes time.
Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you for teaching me. And hopefully they know a lot about welding now.
Yes.
And got a chance to see it close up. So
I appreciate you coming out.
thank you, Jermaine. And you have a nice day.
Do the same.
Wow, that was incredible. I even broke a little sweat from all that heat. When people talk about welding as an art, they are not lying. Watching Jermaine work his magic, listen, he is truly talented. I hope you had a good time, and I hope you learned everything you needed to know about welding, because I sure did. We'll see you next time on Trading Up.
UA Local 50 plumbers, steam fitters, and service mechanics, in partnership with the Mechanical Contractors Association of Northwest Ohio, is a proud partner of Trading Up.